Fiona Harvey is back in the headlines, making yet more claims about her, lawsuit against Netflix and the damage that she is facing because of Baby Reindeer, the hit Netflix show that came out last year, over a year ago now, which is crazy to think, because she is personally being seriously affected in terms of her health off the back of the stress of the lawsuit, off the back of the show and the claims that were made against her and how abhorrent everything has become. So let's kind of talk about it, right? Now, there were claims about 2 or 3 weeks ago, from what I remember, that Fiona Harvey had made, statements to the Daily Mail, I think it was, or the Daily Mirror, one of the two, where she was having some serious issues with regards to her health because of the stress of everything, that her diabetes was completely playing up and she'd been hospitalized, and she even made claims that she'd be lucky to survive to the point of getting her money from the lawsuit win, which first of all shows her confidence in the fact that she feels like she is absolutely going to win this, but it also goes to show the severity of the claims, showing that she must be going through some serious health issues. But again, 2 or 3 weeks later, to the Daily Record, she's made headlines once again, where she's made more claims that she is now going blind and blames the stress portrayal on the Netflix show. So the diagnosis is one of numerous health issues that Fiona Harvey claims to have arisen since being identified as the inspiration for Baby Reindeer stalker Martha. Now, obviously there's a lot to dive into with regards to this. Before we get into that, let's talk about the current state of the lawsuit that is impending. So, obviously, she filed a lawsuit with the Roth law firm last year after being identified as the real-life Martha because of her tweets being identical to that of the tweets in the show. That's how she was identified. Then she went on the Piers Morgan show, identified herself as and labelled herself as the real-life Martha, and then suddenly, poof, instantly, she's now suing because, she can't go out, she can't eat, she can't do anything. She was suing for $170 million, alleging defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and violations to her right of publicity, and it was filed exactly a year ago, not today, but this month, so in June 2024, in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. And that is obviously, and it all centers on the show being quote unquote a true story. That's the thing that's really bit Netflix on the arse here. Now, the federal judge, Gary Klausner, has set a trial date for May 6th of 2025, which of course has been and gone, and it was expected to last about 2 weeks. Now, the motion for dismiss was denied back in September of 2024, as Judge Klausner ruled that the lawsuit could proceed, rejecting Netflix's attempt to dismiss it, and he found that the show's quote-unquote true story claim had specific similarities between Harvey and the character Martha. For example, a Scottish lawyer, London resident, identical social media posts, and so on. And it could lead a reasonable viewer to believe that the portrayal was actually factual, nothing out of, a story. And he noted significant disparities between the real events and the show's depictions, such as Harvey not being convicted of stalking, unlike Martha. However, he dismissed Harvey's negligence, gross negligence, and punitive damage claims. And then there's obviously the appeal by Netflix, which was made in March of 2025, arguing that the show's dramatic elements, including disclaimers and quote-unquote cheeky stylistic choices, like music and cinematography, indicate that it is entirely factual, not based on true and real events. And the appeal filed under seal contends that Harvey's claims are insufficiently pled and shows context protects under free speech rights and also the First Amendment. And Harvey's legal team was granted an extension to file answering the brief by May 28th of 2025, delaying the original anticipated trial start. Now, on June 8th, as of very recently, obviously she's now made more claims, not only stating that she has been hospitalized and she may not survive to see the money come through, but she is going blind due to background retinopathy, adding a personal dimension to her ongoing legal battles. Now, obviously, there's a whole lot to it. Now, with regards to this, right, this is the article from the Daily Record, as you can see. The Scots law graduate Fiona, 59, is currently at the centre of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Netflix, and now she's been diagnosed with background retinopathy. And last night, Harvey told The Record, "I'm going blind, and it's not surprising with the stress that I've been under as a result of baby reindeer. I'm a diabetic, and I've always been able to keep my blood sugars under control, but my blood sugars have been wild ever since Richard Gadd's show aired. I am not sleeping properly, I am not eating properly, I'm not able to get a proper exercise because I'm virtually a prisoner of my own home." She received confirmation of her illness on Thursday after the eye test at a London hospital. And the condition is a complication affecting people with diabetes, and it occurs when blood sugars are too high, get to high levels and damage light-sensitive tissue at the back of the eye. While stage 1 of the disease doesn't necessarily affect the vision, there is a likelihood of developing more significant vision problems. The Record has seen a copy of the letter confirming her diagnosis, and it reads, Dear Dr. Fiona Harvey, your test results show that you have background retinopathy. And she's told that she is it is important and she manages her health to prevent more serious damage. Harvey says, quote, "It is something that diabetics can get if your sugars are out of control. My sugars are fine until baby reindeer that led to all my physical health problems. I don't have money for proper food. I feel like it could lead to blindness very quickly in both eyes. The diagnosis is one of numerous health issues Harvey claims to have arisen since being identified as the inspiration for baby reindeer stalker Martha." And then it goes on to talk about the series as a whole, right? So obviously there's a lot to break down here, and there's a lot that people have said off the back of this. Many people are stating, that this is a sympathy plea to try and, use these physical ailments, which could have been induced, yes, from high blood sugars, but could have been induced from, just not managing her health properly. But she's lodging that against Netflix just to kind of squeeze in this narrative to add and bolster to the suit. Obviously, that's my skeptical mind. I can't say that for certain. I am not a doctor. But it continues in the article. At this rate, it is only a matter of time before I lose my sight, Harvey said. I have cataracts as well, so I have difficulty typing on a little screen, but due to NHS resources, they won't operate until I'm practically blind. I will be stuck on a waiting list and I will go blind, so congratulations, Richard Gadd. He can strut around while the rest of us involved have this saga to have to suffer. Now, Netflix has argued that the legal papers are allegedly defamatory statements and are not actionable because they are substantially true. Harvey added, the court case gives Netflix loads and loads of publicity and they hope I'll draw the motion or just die off. So, obviously, that's the way that things are going right now. Again, the skeptical mind makes me wonder, well, is she just doing this to try and, lodge in just some physical ailments to try and bolster up the claims of, and really reinforce the claims that she's making about this defamation, about this assassination of character, how hard her life has become off the back of it? Or are these things that she would have ended up getting anyway, potentially? Who knows? I'm not a doctor, like I say, but what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Way down there, jump to the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.